morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, as this will be a neutral site game between these two clubs. We are glad that you guys are going to make it in here tonight. Samurai Prayer in the house early here tonight. Glad you could be here on a beautiful, sunny but cool Thursday afternoon in Japan. We're first of all going to give you the starting lineups for the visitors from Hokkaido. Leading off tonight and wearing number 12 in center field is Kodiyazawa. Hitting second and playing first base is number 60, Kengo Yoshida. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 3, Yuya Gunji. Batting fifth in right field is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Hitting in the sixth spot and in left field is number 7, Haruki Nishikawa. Batting seventh and doing the catching is number 10, Yushi Shimizu. Hitting eighth at second base is number 4, Daigo Kamakawabata. And batting in the ninth spot at shortstop is number 54, Shu Yamagata. And they are going to be facing Naoto Nishiguchi, who will take to the hill for the Eagles in this one tonight. And now your starting lineup for the home team, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And we're going to actually get to that one at the bottom half of the inning because we are ready to get this one underway. The first pitch here to Yazawa is a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Yazawa batting from the left side here, getting the start in center field tonight. Only 1 for 11 this spring. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Yazawa listed as a dual player, pitcher and as an outfielder. Didn't pitch at all last year. Has tremendous speed, and he's got a plus arm. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. But he is a little light in the stick thus far, so we'll see how that goes in his development. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. On the way, fastball misses down, and the count runs to 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike here to Yazawa. The game is a neutral site game. As we had mentioned earlier, it is going off in Shizuoka. As the 3-1 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 3-2. I like it when the NPB does the neutral site games during the regular season, and kind of like how the United States has done games, the Field of Dreams game. The last year they did one in, I think it was in New Jersey. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow right center field, and this ball is going to get down, and it sticks and hits. I wasn't sure if that one, it was very interesting. The ball just came and it just died right in right field. And that's going to be a single here for Yazawa. So he's aboard with a leadoff hit. That's going to bring Kengo Yoshida to the plate. It's an all-dirt infield, and the grass in the outfield looks like it has seen better days, as it is more of a brownish kind of green early part of spring. Looks like it hasn't had enough nourishment as of yet. Well, this is going to bring Yoshida to the plate, batting from the right side. He's 5 for 15 in exhibition play. As the right-hander throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Yazawa. The games in the World Baseball Classic earlier today, we saw that the Dominican had clinched. They're scoring to bunt is Yoshida. He gets it down, and it's just going to roll foul up the first baseline. And the count is no balls and 1 strike to Yoshida. The Americans will go through because the Italians blew out the Mexicans. Who would have thought? And it'll be Italy winning the group. And they're going to have to face, I believe, Puerto Rico off the top of my head. The United States is going to get Canada in that quarterfinal. With the Dominicans winning today, beating Venezuela, that means that they will get Korea. And on the other side of the bracket, it is going to be Japan and Venezuela. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. And now the count runs to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Yoshida. Yeah, Samurai Prayer says they are playing in Shizuoka Prefecture right now. That is so rare, yes. One of the neutral site games, obviously, here in exhibition season. Getting a chance to play there. It's not exactly a full house. But I was starting to go with that earlier, where I said about them playing the neutral site games. It's a way for people that don't live in major league markets in the United States and certainly in Japan for the NPB center, that the league is bringing the game to the locals and to the grassroots. There's a ball that's thrown over to first base, and Suzuki hauls it in. Keeps the count, still counts 0-2 here to Yoshida. But my point being is that you sometimes will get into areas of the country where people will never get a chance to see a major league game. If you were in the United States, Oklahoma, for baseball, you might see minor league stuff, but unless you get a major league game, most people may not travel to a major center to see it. It'd be quite a haul, quite a vacation. So that fastball was swung on and lifted foul. The count remains at 0-2. Samurai Prayer says Shizuoka is a soccer prefecture for kids in general. Yeah, I'm not overly familiar with Shizuoka. It's not something in my, how can I say it, in my psyche. There are certain places that, there was talk about expansion for a couple of more teams in the NPB, as there is a fastball swung on, its lifted foul down the right field line. And the question would be, where would those teams go? There was talk prior to the blip in 2020 that it possibly could have been the Okinawa could have got a franchise. They were saying the Okinawa Blue Wave was one of the prospective franchises. Another spot that was a prospective franchise, could be going back to Kobe, where the Oryx Blue Wave once had their team. There's a fastball that misses inside. Count is 1-2. Does Kawasaki get a team? What would be some of the major centers that would be good places to expand by 2 more teams? Does Kanazawa have enough people to support in the north? I don't know. As the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch is ready to come here, as the right-hander Nishiguchi works himself to the set position. Here comes the offering, but instead he goes over to first base, and diving back in time is Yozawa. So those would be the questions that I would have, is what would be the best fit, or what would be the best situation for some of these teams to potentially be able to, or an expansion in the NPB to be able to go to. And I'm sure that playing in some of these prefectures, as there's a breaking ball that's swung on and missed, down, the pitch was down and away, and Yoshida went chasing. He's gone. He's out for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. And I'm sure by playing in these prefectures, they're going to see what type of crowds they're able to get, if the fans will come out and support. Are they going to come out in droves? Or are they going to come wherever else? And they can start to measure the excitement for the sport. And to our friend Samurai Prayer, who says it's more of a soccer prefecture, the first pitch to Reyes is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. That in itself would give people an idea if maybe there's an appetite more for baseball. Reyes is 4 for 12 on the spring, hitting .333. Again, Yozawa getting his lead over at first base. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, but instead they throw over, and diving back in time is the base runner, and we'll do the 0-1 pitch yet again. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, are we implying that the NPB needs more top teams? Fastball misses inside. No, I'm actually coming out and saying that there's been talk about the NPB adding 2 more franchises. And one of the ways in which that they're kind of going about it is they added 2 more farm teams that I think were last year or 2 years ago started play. And I think the reason why they're doing that is to be able to get some players that would be, in the caliber, could step up into the NPB level. There's a fastball that misses outside. It was a pitch out, and Ito had to walk the ladder to go and get it, but the runner stayed at first base. It's 2 balls and 1 strike here to Reyes. And just speculating where those franchises could potentially land if they were to expand by 2 more teams. As I mentioned about Okinawa being one of the places considered, there's a fastball down. Nice stop there by Ito. 3 balls and 1 strike it is to Reyes. But where the other locations would be, and then, of course, what kind of stadiums that would be available currently, which ones would you maybe have to look at building. How would they consider going about it? And then what do you do? Do you add the two teams to the Central League? Do you add them to the Pacific, or do you go 1-1? Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. Yozawa was going on the pitch, but it's not going to be a stolen base as he reaches safely, and Reyes is going to be aboard with a walk. It's going to put runners at first and second, and it's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. Defensively tonight for the Eagles, from left to right field, it is Gonzalez in left. The center fielder is Nakajima, and in right it is McCusker. Around the horn from first to third, it is Suzuki at first. Kobakata is at second. The shortstop is Muniyama. And at third, it is Kurikawa with the battery of Nishiguchi and Ito. Here comes the first offering. It's a fastball swung on, and the count is fouled away, so no balls and 1 strike to Yuya Gunji. But as is back to the original point of, before we get into the speculating where the expansion teams might be, just where they play these neutral site games is as much of an interest for me as it is anything else, because the neutral site really builds the game through the grassroots in different ways. Fastball misses inside, and the count's 1-1. And like anywhere, there are places where you see baseball is more of a hotbed than somewhere else. And why do some areas produce more baseball players than others? Those are all questions that come in. And you look at the outfield here in this one, there's nobody in the outfield. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes to 2-1. It's busy around the home plate area, pretty much between where third base and you do the horseshoe around to first. Got a lot of crowd, but not a lot once you get beyond first base and third base down the lines. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Gunji as the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 2-2. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the Eagles haven't done well for many years. When Tanaka left to go play in the MLB, they won I believe they won their championship, and he pretty much left after that year or a year after that, and they've basically treaded water. You look at the Eagles, I would say this year I would be picking the Eagles or the Marines to finish last. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to pick it up is the left fielder Gonzalez. He fires it back in, and coming in to score is Kota Yazawa, and that is going to give the Fighters a 1-0 lead. An RBI hit here off the bat of Gunji as the Fighters out in front here in the top of the first inning. Our friend Mike Cool Hooks, who was in here the last couple of nights, we were talking about the overs and the unders and playing some of that stuff. And we were talking last couple of nights, the games that we've done, exhibition play. It's so hard because last night, all of a sudden, they bring Soshi Togo in out of the bullpen. After Forrest, Whitley had only thrown 1 inning, and then they rolled a couple of bullpen arms, and then they bring in Togo. I wondered if originally the plan was to throw Whitley and Togo back to back. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Yuki Nomura. Nomura 6 for 13, hitting .462 in exhibition play. It's the start in right field tonight. Runners at first and second. 1 gone here in the first. As the right-hander Nishiguchi ready to deliver. Here he kicks and fires. There's a fastball. It's check swing fouled away. Count goes to 1-1. Already 24 pitches here for the Eagles right-hander. And then, of course, in this offseason, Norimoto, who was the longtime Eagle, leaves to go play for the Amari Giants in the twilight of his career. Team up with his old running mate, Masahiro Tanaka, as well. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball's going to be lifted into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Coming in to pick it up, but stopping at third to load the bases is Reyes. Reyes not known for his speed, so another base hit here, the third of the inning off the bat of Nomura. Advancing to second is Gunji. Over to third is Reyes, and that is going to bring Haruki Nishikawa to the plate. And for Nishikawa, he is all too familiar with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles as he once applied his trade there. And tomorrow night, we're going to do the Lions and the Marines, get a chance to look at both of those clubs for the first time this spring. It'll be the same time, same place. It's going to be a 9 p.m. first pitch, so hopefully you guys can jump in and join us for all the action on that one. Getting a chance to see some of these teams in exhibition play, getting a chance to check out some of the players, some of the new players or new faces, old faces in new places, I guess maybe the way you want to put it. So bases are loaded, one gone here as Nishikawa waits, and the first pitch as a fastball misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Samurai Prayer says, on the other hand, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters have been so popular in Hokkaido since Shinjo joined as the manager. Fastball misses down. Count goes to 2-0. He's a genius as a business person. I have to tell you that at first, when Shinjo was named the manager of the fighters, I thought, it's a bit gimmicky because the team was so bad. I'd say bad. They were young and underdeveloped, and I wasn't really sure that Shinjo was the right guy for the job. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses down. It makes it 3-0 to Nishikawa. There's nowhere to put him. Bases are loaded. Going to have to pitch to him at some point. But I have to say, Shinjo's got him playing good ball. They've cut down on their defensive miscues. They really improved the defense. They were hard to watch 3 years ago. Couldn't take watching them. They were a professional baseball team only masquerading as one. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball hammered down the right field line, but just foul. Run the count to 3-1. But Shinjo, in terms of his personality, at first I thought, well, maybe they hired him because he's such a presence that maybe he would take the heat off of his young team not playing very good. But at the end of the day, he's had them playing good ball. They've been fun to watch the last couple of years. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. Runner at third, Reyes. Runner at second, Gunji. Runner at first, Nomura. There's already 1 run on the board. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. The count runs full to Nishikawa. But back to the Shinjo effect, and as a business person, and his charisma is something else. He is definitely one for the cameras and one for the media. And it helps the profile of the club in general. And they've built a very strong team in Hokkaido. They have some depth. And they've got some arms. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field, moving over underneath it. And there to make the catch is the center fielder, Nakajima, tagging at third and heading home is Reyes. And he will score the second run of the inning. It's a sacrifice fly at 8. RBI for Nishikawa. Reyes in the score, and the score now is 2-0 for the Fighters. Also say this, the other thing, the new stadium that the Fighters have, they've sold some of their players, being specifically Otani and Darvish. And when you think about it, I believe at the time, the stadium was supposed to cost about $575 million to build and construct the new Fighters stadium. Well, when you take into effect the Otani sale and the Darvish sale, it covered over 10% of for the transfer fee, over 10% of what they would have got. There's a fastball swung on it, sliced down the right field line. This ball is going to be trouble if it stays fair, and it is just going to bounce foul in the right field corner, and the count is 0-1 to Yushi Shimizu. So Nishiguchi gets himself a new baseball to rub up. We'll be back to work here. 32 pitches now here for the right-hander. Bright and sunny day, as we said. Ito wearing sunglasses under his mask behind the plate. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as Nishiguchi leans in and gets the sign from his catcher, Ito. He works set. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. Although I have to say, if there was one thing I would say about Shinjo is those uniforms that he designed a couple of years ago that were black and red with the big collars and all the rest, those had to go. and they had to go quickly. I think it was 2023. That'd be the ugliest uniforms I'd seen in a long time. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third, fielded on an in-between hop by the third baseman Kurakawa. He throws to first. That's going to retire Shimizu on a ground out 5-3. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the third inning. Well, they scored a pair of runs in the inning. There were 2 runs on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We're through a half inning. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel with all the action right after this musical timeout. It is a 2-0 Fighters lead as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Our good friend Steve Rademacher will be in here tonight and hanging around, so be sure to check out his channel after the game. We'll be right back after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got the right-hander Soren Lau on the hill here for the Fighters tonight. The 26-year-old had a cup of coffee with both the Washington Nationals and Seattle Mariners last year. Was originally signed by the Los Angeles Dodgers at the tender age of 16 back in 2015. And so now he has taken his act over to Japan. And one would have to think that, like most players that have played in North America, and he's young enough to be able to put together a couple of good years, he might be able to bounce back. So Lau ready to face Hiroto Kabakata to lead it off. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike. We didn't give you the lineup for the Eagles tonight. Kubakata leads off. He's at second. Oscar Gonzalez in left bats 2. Kurakawa is third. He plays third base. Cleanup spot, it's Carson McCusker tonight. He's in right field. As the pitch on the way to Kubakata is a fastball missing down and away, and that's 1-1. Daichi Suzuki's at first. He hits fifth. Batting sixth is Daisuke Nakajima. He's in center. DH is Hideto Asamura in the 7th spot. In the 8th spot is Rui Muniyama. He's at short as that fastball catches the outside corner for a 1-2 count on Kubakata. And it is Hikaru Ito who is behind the plate, who bats last for the Eagles. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Lau ready to rock into the windup. The right-hander kicks and fires, and it is a fastball swung on and is grounded foul over on the first base side. And the count remains at 1-2. So now you were in the know on Soren Lau. He is one of the new faces this year with the ball club. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Kubakata is in the books. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Oscar Gonzalez. Yeah, the uniform that I mentioned, our friend Samurai Prayer says that the uniform we mentioned got a lot of attention in Japan. It was so successful from a marketing aspect. Yeah, I remember I was in the Mizuno store in Osaka. I remember seeing it, and I'm like, I wouldn't even wear this for Halloween. It was so ugly but yeah, it did garner a lot of attention. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. But not my colors and not my drip. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as Lau kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Gonzalez. I was saying at the time when they had those uniforms, I said anything to deflect from the poor play. Hey, look at those uniforms. So I forgot all about how badly the team wasn't playing. But if Tigers are playing pretty good now. They're my pick to go to the Japan series against the Tigers. A fastball swung on. This ball is driven into the right center field gap. It's going to get down. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Gonzalez heading into second, and he reaches safely with a stand-up double. So Oscar Gonzalez aboard with one gone here, and that is going to bring the third baseman and Fumiya Kurikawa to the plate. Well, as Kurikawa steps into the box, that was a good swing there by Gonzalez as he stayed inside. The ball went the other way. The import players that'll be in the Eagles lineup, I'm curious to see how they fare. McCusker is the new one. Gonzalez, of course, has been here, as has another player that's been hanging around was first pitch fastball misses upstairs to Kurikawa. The other player that's been around is Luke Voigt, but we haven't seen him in the lineup here yet. So batting from the left side here, as the right-hander Lau works himself to the belt. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Kicks and fires it as a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Kurikawa. So 2 balls and no strikes as the right-hander holds set. Now kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count runs to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Samurai Prayer says Shinjo sometimes does crazy things on purpose to get attention using the media. Yeah, well, that's the smart part. I remember back in the day when George Steinbrenner owned the Yankees, he said, negative publicity is still publicity. There's a pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 3-1 on Kurikawa. So, sometimes people think that any media is good media. I can point to certain people in political power today that would probably say the same thing. As long as their face is in the news and they're not having to pay for it, that's a good thing. 3 balls and 1 strike as the pitch is on the way. Breaking ball misses way outside. It's going to be ball 4, and Kurikawa is going to be aboard with a walk, and that's going to put runners in first and second with 1 gone, and it brings Carson McCusker to the plate. Okay. Carson McCusker to the plate. Had a little bit of a tongue twister going on in my mind. Well, it's our first look at McCusker. It's his first time over in Japan. And he has struggled out of the gate. He is 2 for 18 with a home run and RBI. So we'll see how he makes the adjustment long term to the NPB. It is exhibition season, and it's early. We got 2 weeks and a couple of days until 2 weeks and a day now, 15 days away till the openers. There's a first pitch breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and the count is 0-1 to McCusker. Some guys just don't like the spring. Some guys, they don't get going. As soon as the lights go on into the season, they really start to get things going. I could see why a major league team would like McCusker. He's tall, he's lean, he's got a good baseball frame. Now, whether he can play or not is another question. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball swung on a miss. Now the count quickly goes to 0-2. I say play at this level. There's everybody can play when you get to here. Can you play at this level though, or do your skills play at this level? Balls and 2 strikes. Soren Lau heading the count here. Shakes off his catcher Shimizu, and now he works to the belt. Here comes the 0-2 offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. He goes the other way. Taken on 1 hop by the first baseman, who goes to third. It looked like at first we thought maybe he would have caught the ball. And that was the first baseman, Yoshida. He took it on the backhand. And he goes to second. Now he's going to retire Kurikawa on a fielder's choice. He goes in the books 3-6 for the second out. Advancing over to third is Gonzalez. McCusker is safe at first on the fielder's choice. That puts runners at the corners with 2 gone, and it's going to bring up the first baseman in Daichi Suzuki. Samurai Prayer says it must be difficult for you to read names because we pronounce in different ways. Yeah, sometimes that is the case. It's some of the names are a little bit more of a challenge, and certainly the way people will enunciate certain things here, you try to work on it a little bit. Also, accent will play into that. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Suzuki. And even here, like for example, when people come to Canada or come to the United States or North America, wherever it is, their names are enunciated a little different. Certainly my last name isn't said the way it would be if we were in Europe. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count is 1-1 to Suzuki. Europeans would look at it and enunciate it differently. Not here. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And then so we just end up rolling with it with regards to that. And that's kind of the way it is. Here's the 1-1 pitch. As Lau kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I have to say, I really like Suzuki. I like the way he plays. He's a pro's pro. And he's getting into the latter part of his career. He's played first base. He's played third base for the Eagles when we watched over the last couple of years. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 3-1. But he is just the way that he carries himself, the way that he goes about his business, the way that he does things, veteran presence. He has some moments where he really plays well. Began his career with the Chiba Lotte Marines. He left it at Chiba in 2019, came to Tohoku in 2020. He's been here ever since. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and the count now goes full to Suzuki. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the left-handed hitting Suzuki waggles the bat here, 3-2 runner at first. McCusker will be on the move on the pitch. And the 3-2 on the way. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That's going to get a run in as Gonzalez comes in to score. And McCusker is going to get gunned down at third base. He was on the move. He tried to go first to third. We're going to see if they're going to have a look at this. I'm going to wait here for just a moment, and everybody's going to just hang tight. I think the Eagles want to have a peek here. No, maybe not. It looks like they're going to call it what it is. Well, it is McCusker out. Oh, no, they are going to go have a look at it. So I stand corrected. So everybody just stay on the field. The umpires are going to go down underneath the stands and see if they can see it. So it's going to be an RBI single off the bat of Suzuki. In to score is Gonzalez. We're going to wait. McCusker was on the move on the pitch. And so the question is he safe at third, or is he going to be erased at third? And that's what we're waiting to find out. So we'll get a look at the replay ourselves. And the throw from the left fielder was really shallow left field. It wasn't a good throw. It was the tag was high. It would have been like if it was old school baseball, he would have been safe with no replay. Usually the tag's got to be around the bag and you got to be on time. So we'll have to see. We don't have a lot of replays on this one, as you would get in some of the other NPB parks. We're basically getting the same angle over and over again. So I don't know how they're going to overturn this one. Whatever angles that they're going to get, we'll have to just wait and see. We've seen the same angle about 6 times, and we are none the wiser. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the play on the field should stand. But I don't make that decision. I think we're going to have to start keeping count of the ones that we get right and wrong throughout the year. As far as I'm concerned, it's probably going to be stay. And here we go. And up goes the right hand, and McCusker is going to be out. He has gone 7-5 on the putout for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here. Well, the Eagles answer back with a run. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard Now through one complete inning, it is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few after this. Appreciate you for hanging in. Quiet audience tonight so far, but that's okay. We're glad we could bring it to you. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. Naoto Nishiguchi back on the mound for inning number 2. He delivers a first pitch fastball up to Daigo Kamikawabata, and it is the other fastball that misses down. It's now 2-0. 34 pitches in the first inning for the Tohoku right-hander. Kamikawabata 0 for 2 in the exhibition play so far as he takes a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike. The count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Right here, rocks into the windup and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is golfed into shallow center field, holding his ground, and now coming in and making the catch is the center fielder Nakajima. And that is going to retire Kamikawabata for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. Well, we were talking about enunciation of words and different things as Yamagata 0 for 3 in the exhibition play as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a slow breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Also, too, there's, even in certain languages, like when I was over in Europe and living there, it's trying to be able to enunciate words and just in the language period. As that ball was lifted into right center field, moving over underneath it and making the catch is Nakajima. And that is going to retire Yamagata for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here to start the second is exactly what the doctor ordered for Nishiguchi, and that is going to bring the top of the order in Kodiyazawa to the plate. And, you think of different places, different parts of the world that struggle with different pieces of the language. Whether it be people from the Middle East who speak Arabic, other people who will speak German, other people who speak Dutch, different languages, they usually say that your accent is picked up before the age of puberty. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Yazawa. It's time zone I'm in right now. We are on the West Coast in North America, as we are in the Pacific time zone. So we are approximately, right now it is 9:38 Pacific time, which would put it at about 13:38 Japan time. So it is about, I believe, 16 hours ahead as that fastball was lifted foul. The count is 1-2. Going to be on the East Coast next week, so we'll do some other games from the East Coast. I'll be out of town, but I'll take the traveling roadshow with me. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded or actually lined right to the glove of the second baseman, Kobakado, dropped to a knee. And that is going to do it as Yazawa is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. So the Fighters go quietly here in their half of the second inning. And in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Moving to the bottom of the second, it is the Fighters with a 2-1 lead over the Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of inning number 2 when we return in just a few. But we appreciate you for hanging in with us on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Nakajima, Asamura, and Muniyama to come to bat in just a couple of moments. We'll take this little time out and carry on with all the action right after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch from Soren Lau was delivered, and it was a line drive hit right to the glove of the first baseman as Nakajima has lined out to Kengo Yoshida for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 away. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Hideto Asamura. Another player that is in the downside or the downswing of his career, Asamura is a great player throughout his career. He takes the first pitch breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. He moved him off of second base and had moved him over to third. And at this point in his career, we may see some first base. He has struggled in the spring. He's 3 for 17. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count now goes to 0-2. As Daichi Suzuki, we mentioned, he spent the early part of his career with the Chiba Lotte Marines. Asamura spent quite a bit of his early part of his career with the Saitama Cebu Lions. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count remains at 0-2. He has over 300 career home runs. But you can pretty much see on a steady decline since the 2020 season. Had a little hiccup. Fastball swung on, grounded foul down the third base line. The count remains at 0-2. But his power numbers, much like everything in the NPB, he had a string of years in 18, 19, and 20 where he hit north of 30 home runs. That fell off to 18 in 2021. Then he was back up at 27 and 26, and now 14 and 9. As there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains 0-2. And I would have to say last year, of course, when he had 9 home runs, but he was of a player that used to run off season after season of full seasons. In fact, from 2016 to 2024, he never missed a game. Pretty impressive. As the right-hander Lau kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to third. Oh, what a nice play by the third baseman, ranging deep to his left. As Yuya Gunji spins and fires over to first, and Asamura is gone on a ground out 5-3. Gone for out number 2. That is going to bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. Well, for Muniyama, as he steps to the plate, batting from the left side, he got benched a game earlier in the spring against the Carp. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses down. It was ended up making an error that ended up costing the team a bunch of runs. 5 for 28. Making an error is one thing, as he had bobbled the ball, but then it was his poor throw over to first base and bad decision-making. The runner was already there. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-1. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, thank you for saying Daichi Suzuki. Difficult to tell which Suzuki it is. Yeah, it's Suzuki, and different names. Tanaka's another where you got a lot. There's a ground ball that goes off of Lau up the middle. It is fielded by the shortstop with the bare hand, and he comes down with it. He thought about making the throw, did Yamagata, but he ends up holding on to it. It's going to be an infield single for Moneyama. They're going to have the trainer come out and check on Lau. And it's going to bring Hikaru Ito. That was a quick visit. Ito to the plate. Sato and Suzuki are the two most popular family names. Yeah, that's you see that. It's like Schmidt in German, or Jones in Great Britain, or Smith. A lot of those, I would assume, like Singh in India. Get a lot of those folks, just like Lee in Korea, or Park or Kim. Certain surnames obviously have a dominance in the societies where they're at. This is Ito at the plate as he waits on the offering from Lau, batting from the right side. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Actually, the ball that Moneyama hit, I thought it might have got him off his leg or the side of his leg. It actually hit, it looked like above his glove on the wrist or the forearm. That was on the glove side hand, of course. As the right-hander Lau delivers, there's a fastball missing down and away, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. There are a couple other games that are going on in the NPB tonight. The only other game currently being played is the game between the Carp and the Bay Stars. It is 2-0 for Hiroshima. That's in the bottom of the third. Pitch on the way, fastball misses down. Count now goes to 3-0. Later on this evening, a rematch of last night's affair between the Giants and the Hawks will go off at the PayPay Dome at 1800 hours local time, which would be 6 o'clock Japan time in the evening. There is a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Ito. Moneyama, the runner on first, 3 balls, 1 strikes to Ito. Top of the order looming is Kobukata waiting on deck. Here comes the 3-1 as Lau holds to the belt, now delivers. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into right center field. And racing over and making the catch is the center fielder Yazawa. And that is going to do it. Ito's going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Eagles in their half of the second. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We now move to the top of the third inning. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call. Just a couple of minutes. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. It's definitely not standing room only in here tonight, but we're glad for the folks that have jumped in here to listen to our call. We'll be right back in just a few. Your score as we move to the top of the third inning, it is a 2-1 ball game for the Fighters, and we'll be back in just a few after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. The fighters are coming to bat here in inning number 3. That is going to be Kengo Yoshida, Franmil Reyes, and Yuya Gunji. As the right-hander Nishiguchi on for another inning of work, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Yoshida tonight struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into shallow left center field. Moving in on it is Gonzalez. He calls everybody off. The wind is blowing. He had to keep coming. He finally makes the catch as Yoshida is gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the DH and Franmil Reyes. Our friend Samurai Prayer says Ichiro Suzuki changed his register name in his second or third year because the manager back then thought Suzuki was too normal for Ichiro's potential. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I always kind of laugh when everybody calls him Ichiro. You know who that is. Obviously, Ichiro. There's, at least in North America, on the West Coast, everybody knows Ichiro Suzuki. As that fastball misses inside, the count goes to 1-1. Some of the other names, when only one name is registered, like Taisi for Taisi Oda of the Giants, or Richard Sunagawa, who's now with the Giants as well. Certain players only go with one name, and I always used to say, when they start calling you by one name, you got to be pretty good. I don't know if those other players I just mentioned are in the class of Ichiro. Think of like guys like Pele or Ronaldo, soccer players. There's a fastball swung on it, has popped up into the middle of the infield. Moving over underneath it is Muniyama, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Reyes for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the third baseman and Yuya Gunji. Well, I got to say, Nishiguchi's really settled down here. Well, as they pan the crowd, I would say this. It's probably almost looks like a friends and family event tonight. A lot of sparse, a lot of empty seats all the way around. As we mentioned, it was really between third base and that horseshoe all the way around to first, where you've got people seated. Outside of that, not a whole lot. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Gunji. So the ball is in 1 strike. Right-hander rocks and delivers. Pitch is a fastball that misses inside. Count now goes even to 1-1. Gunji 1 for 1 tonight, had a single and drove in the first run of the ball game for the fighters. There's a pitch that's a split finger pitch missing down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Fighters, Eagles, as we are giving you the call on this one here tonight, as the right-hander kicks and fires. Fastball catches the outside corner, and the count now goes even to 2-2 on Gunji. Nishiguchi gets the sign, and now he nods in agreement, but now he's going to step off the backside of the rubber and reset himself to do it again. And 2-2 forthcoming. He rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to the right side of the infield. Taken neatly by the first baseman, Suzuki. Tosses it to the pitcher covering, and that is going to retire Gunji on a ground out 3-1 for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here. 7 in a row retired by Noguchi, as the fighters, after that first inning, he's really settled down. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 3. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple of moments on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this timeout.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs, we have pounds, we have Deutschmarks, we have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we like to support Steve Rademacher. There is a change in the ball game, as there is one of those, we like to say, training players or development players that come in. The first pitch from Lau is a fastball that misses up for ball one. 1-0, and it looks like that, not sure who that's going to be for the Fighters as that fastball misses, and the count is 1-0 to Kobakata. Another pitch to the leadoff hitter of the Eagles and misses outside. Counts now 2-0. They show the number as 123. It looks like it is Hiroki Sonia, if I've said that right. Fastball swung on, chopped. Back to the pitcher. Lau has it. He's got to hurry. He fires to first. It's offline. And we're going to see what we have here. The throw, and the big boss, he wants to go to the replay here. Lau had thrown the ball to first. The first baseman had caught it. It come off the bag on the home plate side of first base. Yoshida had applied the tag to the runner. He thinks that he's going to have them out. We're going to get a look at the replay of this ourselves. On the first glance, I do think that he was out. I think that the umpire got it wrong, but we're going to find out right now. So I take a look at the replay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think and he held it up, and the base umpire was holding up the sign. No, I think he tagged him before he got to the base. I think this is going to be a ground out 1-3. We'll have to see what the umpires have to say. It looks like when they go behind to have to do the video review, it looks like when they open up the door, it looked like a broom fell out. They're going into the broom closet to make the judgment on this. I'd be shocked if this was overturned, or this wasn't overturned. We've seen crazier things happen, so let's see how this one goes. I would expect this isn't going to be a long review either. And again, it goes back to, taking the time on these reviews. It drives me nuts. If you can't make a decision from the time you put the headset on, here comes the umpire, and yep, up goes the right hand. He's out. He is what we thought it was. It was a ground out 5-3, so they're going to keep the challenge, will the big boss. That'll bring up the left fielder in Oscar Gonzalez. Our friend Samurai Prayer says they have enough pitchers to win the regular season to the Fighters. The problem, the Hawks are too tough. Gonzalez 3 for 17 now in the spring. He had a double and scored run in the first inning, and he swings at the first pitch and pops it up foul behind home plate. The count is 1-1. And I got to agree with you. The Hawks, it's their offense that is getting a little bit long in the tooth. And, they lost Kohei Arihara, but they went out and got, Joe Sisiu from the Taiwanese league. And boy, is he pretty good. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. And not only is he pretty good, they've already anointed him the number 18. So I usually give that to the aces of the staff, and the Hawks are saying, here you go. You get to wear this. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to the left side, fielded by the shortstop. Nice play there by Yamagata, who fires to first, is going to retire Gonzalez by a half step. It's a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the third baseman in Fumiya Kurikawa. Well, Kurikawa tonight officially walked his first time up. He was erased on a fielder's choice. He's 4 for 21 in the spring. He's hitting a $190. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. I was thinking of teams, the teams that I would say, I think the Swallows are the last place team in the Central League this year. That's my pick. We were saying this the other night. It is going to be the Tigers and the Giants, I think, 1-2. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Fielded neatly by the third baseman who had dove to his left. That was Gunji. He gets up and he fires to first. Kurikawa is out on the ground at 5-3 for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of inning number 3. A third of the game is in the books. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. I'll come back and tell you my thoughts on who I think is going to be the teams to beat and the teams that are going to finish in last place in both the respective Pacific and Central Leagues. Stay with us, everybody. We glad you guys made it in with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. They are doing a little bit of gardening in the infield here. It is the first third of the game is in the books. Shiguchi coming back out for his fourth inning of work. He's really settled down after the first inning where he threw 34 pitches. Since then, he's only thrown 21 pitches, and he has retired the last 8 hitters in order. So when I watch Nishiguchi pitch, he really reminds me of Norimoto a lot. I look at his style, just the way that he does his leg lift, everything else like that. Looks like we have a new left fielder for the Eagles. We'll see if he goes into the spot in the batting order once occupied by Oscar Gonzalez. Looks like it's Yoshiaki Watanabe. We'll have to get that for you when they come through in the batting order. The first pitch on the way to Yuki Nomura. It's taken for a ball outside. The count is 1-0. It's Nomura, Nishikawa, and Shimizu. 7 for 14 in the exhibition season for Nomura. He's batting an even .500 as he takes a fastball for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1. Well, in 1 strike it is. So back to the conversation I was having. Obviously, our friend Samurai Prayer said about the pitching that will, pitchers to win the regular season, but the Hawks are too tough as that pitch is going to catch the outside corner for called strike. So it's 1-2 here to Nomura. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that swung on and missed, and Nomura's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. Bring up the left fielder in Haruki Nishikawa. Well, I was saying before, I think that the offense for the Hawks are on the wrong side of 30, especially like those like Yuki Yanagita. Kensuke Kondo now pushing on the other side of 30. Some of the big guns in their lineup. Makihara, same deal. He's approaching that number, or is at that number if I'm not mistaken. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1 to Nishikawa. Nishikawa does not have an official at bat tonight. He had a sac fly and drove a run in back in inning number 1. 3 for 16 in exhibition play is the left-handed hitting left fielder of the Fighters as that breaking ball misses and the count's even at 1-1. So when I think of the Hawks and, of course, losing Koei Arihara, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Moving over underneath it, and there to make the catch is McCusker, and that is going to retire Nishikawa. He's out for the second out of the inning. Going to leave it up to the catcher in Yushi Shimizu. Arihara left the Hawks. He's now a fighter. So the depth of the fighters starting pitching is there. And the pitchers that they can roll out are pretty darn good. You think of Hiromi Ito and others. But I got to think that in the next year or so, the Hawks are going to have to retool some of that offense. It could be ripe for the picking to get knocked off. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's lifted into shallow center field, coming hard. And making the catch is the center fielder, Nakajima, and that is going to do it here. Shimizu's gone for out number 3. So another really quick inning here for the Fighters. And by our counts, if my math is correct, that's 11 in a row set down here by Nishiguchi. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 4. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Soren Lau is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action. Lau, 45 pitches through the first 3 innings. Has been fairly economical, only allowing 3 hits. He has walked 1 and struck out 1 by our counts here, as he has just completed his tune-up tosses. We are ready to resume the action. Game has been clipping by at a decent pace. Last night, there wasn't much going on, and we had a larger audience, much larger audience. Tonight, quiet audience, but we know that we do get a lot of folks who like to listen on delay, and we appreciate those folks who do that. So if you don't get the live version, you might be getting something a bit later. There's the first pitch fastball swung on by McCusker, and that's going to be grounded foul down the third base line. Count is quickly 0-1. McCusker bounced out a fielder's choice his first time up, and then he was erased on a putout. The left fielder had fired him out at third base when he was trying to go first to third to end the first inning. Pitch from Lau on the way. It is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander as Lau rocks and delivers. Breaking ball misses way outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Interesting to see how the Fighters are going to use their staff this year. A number of pitchers who can start and who are going to get the 6 spots in the rotation as Lau rocks and delivers. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. Daichi Suzuki and Daisuke Nakajima to follow here. As the right-hander ready to go again. Lau rocks and fires. Fastball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And I could say this, when I look to do games in the regular season, I mentioned it in our earlier stream of the Eagles, I don't see myself doing a whole lot of Eagles games this year. Because I do think that they are probably going to have themselves some struggles. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into left center field. Moving over is the center fielder, Yozawa. He's going to make the catch, and McCusker is going to be retired for out number 1 here. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. Well, for Suzuki, 1-for-1 tonight. He singled and drove home the second run, the first run of the ball game for the Eagles. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Lau, who rocks and delivers. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. 2 balls and 1 strike it is. Left-hander Suzuki waits and now swings at a breaking ball and hammers that one foul into his own feet. Count no balls and 2 strikes. So Suzuki gets himself reset again, and we're ready to go back to the action. Bottom of the 4th inning here as the Eagles trail the Fighters by a score of 2-1. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. One thing I don't know about this stadium is that I don't know if they have lights. Our friend CV baseball card collector in the house. Welcome there, Caesar. Great to have you with us. As the right-hander Lau kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. We're going to have to get your scouting report, Caesar, when you are going to be telling us a little bit about the Vasilia Rawhide. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Suzuki. He's out for the second out of the inning. He's in the books. Or at least with the Hillsboro Hops, who I'm going to get a chance to see early on and try to get a chance to see a number of the minor league games this year. They've got a good deal on the Canadians tickets this year. If you buy 9, any games between April, May, and June, it's basically like $11 a ticket. It's a pretty good bargain. As this brings to the plate, Daisuke Nakajima, and he takes a first pitch for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakajima, 0-for-1 tonight. He lined to first his first time up. As the right-hander Lau rocks and delivers. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Lau ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted into shallow right center field. Moving over is the center fielder Yazawa. He's there to make the catch. That's going to retire Nakajima for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 4th. They go quietly, and that is now 7 in a row set down by Soren Lau. So we had no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. It is going to be Nishiguchi coming back out for his 5th inning of work. We're going to take a little time out. We'll be right back. We'll get the kettle going so we can get ourselves some nice hot tea. Our friend CV says he saw the A's May, $8. That's pretty good. I'll come back and chat it up with the chat in just a couple of moments. Stay with us, everybody. You're listening to the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel, NPB Baseball, when we return.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve. Looks like we got some changes across the outfield and in the infield. It's like Watanabe has taken his act over to right field. We have a change in left field. We're going to have to try to get some of those updates for you, especially depending on where they're put in the batting order. As the right-hander Nishiguchi has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to go back at it here. It is slated to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. That's Kawabata, Yamagata, and the top of the order, Yazawa. The first pitch is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. Our friend CV, who's in the house, we're going to try to get to see Northwestern and UW at the end of the month for one of the games in that 3-game set. Breaking ball swung on. This is going to be hammered into right field through the 4-hole. Kawabata aboard with a leadoff single here, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. And then the next day, going to try to see the Guardians and the Mariners in Seattle. And that'll be the kickoff of my season to see the games, and then we'll probably end up be catching a whole pile of games after that. As I said, probably going to try to get to about 9 games to see the Canadians this year. And then try to get down and see the Aqua Sox and some others as well. So this brings to the plate Shu Yamagata 0 for 4 in the spring season. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And I do look at the schedule because I want to see a few more of the Mariners games that are coming up in the months of April and May. Don't know if I'll be able to get down in June. And, of course, in the month of July, there's a fastball swung on, grounded to second. They go to second for 1, back to first. It's going to be in time. That is going to be a 4-6-3 double play. A nice turn there by the Eagle defense. That is going to take away the runners for the top of the order as it brings up Cody Yazawa to the plate with 2 gone. So Yazawa coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He singled in the first and scored a run, and he lined to second. And his 2 trips to the plate. The pitch on the way is a slow breaking ball that misses way up and way away. And the count is quickly 1-0. Waggling the bat. He's got the big shades on. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and hammered foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Saying also on top of that, to try to get back to Taiwan this year. I want to see a couple games in Taiwan. And then I'm not sure after that. Maybe even to see some of the Chinese league in China next year. I think that's on the docket. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2 on Yazawa. But that is still a ways away. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to play out. They started a pro league. It's only a 4-team league, and they are playing in January. They played in January, February this year. Fastball swung on it. It's going to be lifted foul down the left field line, and the count now remains at 1-2 to Yazawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shiguchi nods in agreement, and he rocks himself into the windup, and now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and in. Count goes to 2-2 on Yazawa. And I also think, as far as I'm concerned, just trying to get to as many as possible. It's always good to watch and to see things and to see different styles of play. There's a breaking ball swung on, and the ball is sliced down the left field line, and it's going to get into the seats. An interesting configuration at this field as the seats kind of do jut out from the stands. So 2 balls and 2 strikes remains to Yazawa here in the top half of inning number 5. We are keeping our eye. There is another game going on in the NPB tonight, as it is the Carp with a 2-0 lead over Yokohama. That game's in the 5th inning. Another fastball swung on, and another one lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 2-2 to Yazawa. And the later game tonight at the PayPay Dome at 1800 hours local time, 6 o'clock in Japan, as we say, or 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern, is the Hawks hosting the Giants. Breaking ball swung on. This is grounded foul just past the bag at first base, and this battle is going to continue. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Yazawa. 75 pitches in the ball game so far for Nishiguchi, so wonder how many more bullets they're going to have in the gun for him. We have opening day 2 weeks from tomorrow, so that's about 15 days away, I guess, if you include today. So we'll see how that shapes up. 15 days away. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded, 15 days from today, 2 weeks from tomorrow. The battle continues here to Yazawa as that was grounded foul. Pitch number 10 of the at-bat ready to come up now. Our friend CB said, hoping to see some Angels games too, also the Giants. How far? I know you're not that far from the Angels as the 2-2 is on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on, chopped over the head, fielded on the run by the second baseman Kobakata. He fires to first, and Yazawa's retired on the ground out 4-3. He's gone for out number 3, and that's going to do it as we're going to cruise to the bottom half of the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. It was a unconventional 1-2-3 inning. I'll be back in just a couple of moments. Our friend CB telling us that wants to see the Angels games, Giants, and A's. I know he's close to LA, and I know you're far away from the Giants, but how far is it to get to see the A's from where you're at? Curious to know that. We'll be back in just a couple of moments after this musical timeout. Stay with us, everybody. Thank you for stopping in.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in. Check them out. Leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It is going to be number 41, Koji Fukutani, coming on in relief. So the first bullpen usage tonight by either team goes to the Fighters, as Fukutani has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're about ready to resume the action. Our friend CV was saying about where he is at distance-wise, as we were talking about beforehand, about the same 3.5 hours from the driveway. That's pretty good. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Hideto Asamura. It's Asamura, Muniyama, and Ito, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, 3.5 hours is doable. I'd like to get down to Tacoma this year. I've never actually seen a game in the AAA park, so that's on my agenda as well. As there's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to third, knocked down by Gunji. He has to get up and fire, and then he fires it away. I don't think they're going to rule that as an error. I think that'll probably be as a single for Asamura. Gunji had dove to knock it down, got to his feet to fire to first, and it wasn't going to be in time, I don't believe, anyway. But a nice play just to be able to get over, get the body in front of it, and then to have to fire to first. Well, we're going to see how they're going to rule it. Maybe I might be incorrect. We'll see what the official score may have to say on that one. Oh, they are going to give him an error. So E5 it is. So Asamura is aboard over at first base, and that is going to bring up Rui Muniyama to the plate. Wanyama 1 for 1 tonight, singled in his only trip. He is now waiting on the offering, and the pitch is swung on. It is grounded through the 6-hole into left field, and back-to-back base runners aboard here for the Eagles. As Asamura is going to stop at second, that's going to bring Hikaru Ito to the plate. So the Eagles are flapping their wings here in the bottom half of inning number 5. Just going back to our friend CV there, so 3.5-hour drive is a decent haul. 2.5 to see the Dodgers play. That's not that bad, getting to Chavez Ravine. Depending on the type of drive, too. But I was saying one of the places I'd like to get to this year, I want to get to Tacoma. Well, we are going to have a pinch hitter here. As Ito's day is done, it is going to be number 65 coming to the plate, and that would be Kengo Horiuchi. So batting from the left side here. Listed as a catcher, so we'll see if he ends up behind the plate. So Horiuchi batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Nishigawa. Now the pitch on the way is a fastball that just misses outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Katani, the right-hander, on in relief here of Soren Lau. He gave them 4 pretty good innings, only allowed 1 run. He had retired the last 7 Eagle batters that he faced. So the right-hander works to the set. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count now runs even to 1-1. I was trying to spill it out there a little bit, trying to get down to Tacoma to see the Rainiers play, as I haven't seen that. I wouldn't mind maybe making it down to Hillsboro to see the Hops, but I don't think that's going to be on the calendar this year. I kicked myself. I didn't see the A's a couple of years ago. I'd like to have been to that old stadium to see the A's before they took their road show to Sacramento or wherever they're at these days. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2 on Haruchi. But I've kind of had a little bit of a pause on my. I'm only going for baseball. I'm not really going for much else. When I go south of the border, I'd like to see exactly. I'd like to see some more places. CV said he missed out 2 on Sacramento. Yeah, I had a chance. It was a couple of years ago. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into shallow left field. Moving over underneath it and making the catch is the left fielder Nishikawa, and that's going to retire Haruchi for the first out of the inning. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Hiroto Kobukata. My dad had a bit of a hiccup in April of 2020. Was it 2023 or 2024? I was supposed to go to San Francisco and see both the A's and the Giants as they were around, and then I ended up doing a 180. Went to see him because he was in the hospital for a few days. Some concerns about his health. When he came through and everything else, had a gallbladder issue. Here's the pitch to Kobukata. It's a fastball, misses down, and the count is 1-0. Once he got that sorted out, he was good to go and back in the saddle. But unfortunately, I missed out on being able to go see the A's. Other things are more important sometimes in life. Baseball does have to wait sometimes. Here's the pitch to Kobukata. It's a fastball swung on, and it's hammered foul down the right field line, just past the bag at first. And the count goes even at 1-1. But we're off and running this year with the games called. We said we want to do 150 this year, and that's an ambitious number without a doubt. And now it looks like we are going to be in that range, I would think, pretty early on. We should be able to lop off by the end of spring training with the Classic and all the other exhibition games. We should have about 30 games done by the end of March. More to come. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The Count goes to 1-2 on Kobakata. And that pretty much leaves me about 120 games to cover over a 6-month window. Try to squeeze a pile in April, May, and June. July and August will be a little bit tougher. Then you get into September. And they throw over to second base, and they almost threw that ball into right center field. Getting back to the bag is Asamura. Seen a lot of the teams work on their picks to second. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the top of the order hitter, Kobakata, as he waits here on the offering from the right-hander. And the pitch on the way is grounded right back to the pitcher. They go to second for 1, back to first, and it's going to be in time. The speed of Kobakata, unable to beat it out. It is going to go in the books as a 1-6-3 double play, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 5th inning. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was also an error, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we are through 5 complete. Remember, we like to call this the Japanese halftime. This is where they take a 5-minute break in between innings. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys from hanging in here with us. We'll come back and chat with CV when I get back after this. I got to go refresh my beverage and get myself something to drink. Here is the drums from Chiba. We'll be back in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend CB says the Dodgers had built a super nice minor league team stadium in Ontario, California. There's interesting to see the way that the management of these minor league teams are now going. I think there's the team that is operated here in Vancouver was purchased by an American group that basically runs minor league franchises. The local owners here sold out about a year or so ago. Now they've got the Americans running the franchise in here. And when that happened, the ticket prices took a big jump up. The stadium is a nice old piece. They've been, got to tip your hats though. They are expanding. They have made it the right field line has been worked on. There's expansion in the stadium. They've added pieces to the outfield. So in some ways, good things must come to an end, and some things, good things are built upon and added a little bit more to. And so that's kind of a good thing for the fan experience, being able to get a chance to go see some of the games. Looking at the stadium, there's no backs on these seats. It's bench seating and a lot of capacities. I don't know right about home plate, but for those of you, it looks like the old football stadiums that you would go to in the United States where there's no backings. You got to sit there. You got to bring your own cushion. This particular stadium is a little bit, I don't know how you would want to put it, a little bit dated maybe, but the crowd that's there is there to see. It's a bit mixed in the crowd with Fighters and Eagles jerseys. I would like to see those two teams. I'd like to see the home parks of the Fighters and the Eagles. Eagles Park looks kind of interesting. And of course the Fighters with the brand new stadium. There has been some complaints though that people with mobility issues, that it's not easy. You kind of get off the subway line and got a bit of a haul to have to walk to the stadium. Looks like the grounds crew has done their work. So we're going to get back to the action here in just a couple of moments. That would be the one complaint about the stadium, just how it's a bit of a haul for people who maybe have mobility issues. We are going to have a pitching change here, as it looks like it's going to be Taisi Surasaki, who is going to be taking to the hill here for the Eagles. That'll be my first look at Surasaki, as he is the second pitcher used. Naoto Nishiguchi looked like he was going to have a tough night with 34 pitches in the first inning, but he really settled down and he was able to give the Eagles 5 good innings. So now they're turning it over here to the right-hander. As Surasaki is completing his tune-up tosses, and we'll be ready to get back to the action here in just a couple moments. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters slated to come to bat for the Fighters in this half inning. And as of right now, we still have it as Yoshida Reyes, but it looks like we have a new third baseman. As we were saying, it is number 123, so that means it's a development player. And that would be Hiroki Soniya. So he will be batting in the spot once occupied by Yuya Gunji. I wonder if that was Soniya who made the error in that last half inning as well. We'd have to go back and take a look, see if he was inserted defensively in. I think he may have been. So the tune-up tosses are completed, and we're ready to resume the action. And it is going to be Kengo Yoshida coming to the plate. Yoshida getting the nod at first base is 0 for 2 tonight. 5 for 17 in exhibition play. He has struck out and has flown out to left in his 2 trips to the plate. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, popped up behind home plate, giving chase all the way to the backstop, but get a run out of real estate. Is Horichi, the catcher, and that is no balls and 1 strike to Yoshida. And a new baseball given up here to the pitcher. Wonder if they're collecting baseballs out of the stands. That was one thing everybody used to say, or at least when I went over, that you couldn't keep a foul ball in Japan. I think that has changed now. They usually come and check on you to see if you're all right. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop Muniyama. He throws to first. That's going to be a ground out 6-3. Yoshida's in the books for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the DH and Franmil Reyes. We'll keep our eyes peeled to see if Reyes gets another at-bat here in this one. I know in Major League Baseball, some of the star players don't like to hit too deep into the games off younger pitchers because they throw hard and they're all wild. 4 for 13 in the spring is Reyes. He's officially 0 for 1 in a walk tonight. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it away, and the count is 0-1. I remember, I think it was Paul Konerko once said, he goes, "You've got a guy on the mound throwing 95 in A ball, and he doesn't really have a command of where his pitch is going. You're a big league guy making millions. You want to face that guy in spring training? Probably not. Nothing like getting a fastball in the ribs, and you got to deal with that for a couple of weeks while you're trying to play." Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, and it is going to be lifted foul into the seats. Count is no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander goes to the rosin bag and ready to resume the action. Reyes waggling the bat. In the hole at 0-2 here. Reyes has got the pink elbow guard, the pink batting gloves, and the pink shin guard. He is all in pink outside of his regular uniform. There's a breaking ball that's down. He swings at it. It gets away from the catcher as Horichi is going to go and get it. He throws to first. It's a strikeout 2-3. That pitch was way outside. Every time I see something like that, I think of the movie, I think it was The Sandlot. Was it The Sandlot or Benchwarmers, whatever it was, and they say it's not a sword, don't chop at it. Well, that would have been the case right there. So that's 2 in the books here, and that's going to bring up number 123. Yeah, you heard it, Hiroki Sania, as he bats on the right side, and he swings at a breaking ball and misses, and the count is 0-1. Hiroki Sania in the hole here. Curious to see what other fighter players they might roll off of the bench and development players. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a call and strike. The count goes now to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. It's been a pretty effective inning here thus far for the reliever of the Golden Eagles, as Sarasaki delivers a fastball and it's swung on and missed. And Sania is down on strikes pretty quickly. He's in the books for out number 3. Only 7 pitches in the inning by my count, or make it 8. And that is going to retire Sania for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left aboard as the fighters go in order. We're moving ourselves to the bottom of the 6th inning. Your score is the Fighters with a 2-1 lead. All the scoring came in inning number 1. And it's been pretty quiet after that. We'll be right back in just a few with all the action after this. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a right-handed reliever coming in, Takahita Ikeda. He's coming to the mound here, making his second appearance of the spring. As the right-hander will conclude his tune-up tosses. This is going to be the third pitcher used today by the Fighters. So Ikeda on in relief of Koji looking at my Koji Fukutani, who was the other pitcher. We do have some changes again defensively. We'll have to pick those up for you when they come to bat. Everything's moving a little too quickly for us here. Coming to bat here for the Golden Eagles in the place or the one-time spot occupied by Oscar Gonzalez. This is number 35. This is Yoshiaki Watanabe. So he is getting his first at bat here in the ball game, and he takes the ball down. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Ikeda delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. Is lifted into deep left center field, but over and making the grab is the left fielder Nishikawa. And that is going to retire Watanabe for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. And it's going to bring up the third baseman in Fumiya Kurakawa. We're keeping our eyes on changes in the lineup, but Kurakawa is getting his opportunity to swing the stick. As he comes to the plate, Kurakawa is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He's grounded out. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. He's had a rough spring, 4 for 22 so far. As the left-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Carson McCusker slated to come to bat next. We'll see if he is going to be still here. I'm not sure if he's still in the ball game or not. Or if they have replaced him defensively as well, as the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Looks like they have gone to their bench again. So McCusker out of the game as there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-2. It is Daiki Ire who is on deck. So we will see him for the first time in a moment. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Kurakawa swinging from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ikeda. Only 6 pitches so far to the first 2 hitters in the inning as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball, misses up and away. Count now runs full. So 3-2. Tomorrow night it'll be the Lions and the Marines. We will do that ball game or that affair. 3-2 on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. And then we're going to take the night off for the Friday games. So the Saturday games in the NPB, we'll take that one off. We're not going to do any of the Saturday games. But the Sunday games, we are looking at the schedule, and we're going to try to squeeze one in on Sunday as well. pitch on the way. There's a fastball swung on it, is chopped down the first base line, and it's just going to go foul. Count remains at 3-2. And looking ahead to the NPB, that schedule for the games on Sunday in Japan, as we try to pick the games that'll work the best for us. I'm not sure, sometimes there's always games that work for us, but the Sunday games most likely will be the Giants and the Fighters from the Tokyo Dome. That is probably what we're going to look to do. So if you guys can sneak in and join us for that, we'd be glad to have you. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and hammered foul down the left field line. It's going to slice its way into the seats. And the count remains at 3-2. We'll make that announcement more than likely after tomorrow's game. Keeping our eyes on the starts tomorrow, as we mentioned, the Lions and the Marines. That game goes off 1 o'clock local time. We thought about maybe the Swallows and the Buffaloes. As the 3-2 pitch on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2, and by my count now, it's going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Kurikawa. He's already got himself a quality at-bat, and we're going to see if he could do more. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to call the World Baseball Classic the semifinal and the final. Semifinal number 2. There's a fastball missing way upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. Kurikawa has earned himself a 1-out walk. It's going to bring Daiki Iri to the plate for his first at-bat. And then, as I mentioned, we are going to be away for a couple days, but then we'll look to do the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games, as we will be in different time zones. So hopefully we can be able to do one of those, looking at possibly doing the Lions and the Bay Stars on the Friday, maybe change it up on the Saturday, do the Hawks and the Carp. And then to wrap up the exhibition season on the 22nd, as the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And possibly finish it all off with a Fighters-Swallows matchup. Or possibly even the Buffaloes and the Tigers. I'm not sure about that, which one we would look to do. Buffaloes-Tigers would be a lot of fun, as that'll go from the Kyocera Dome. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2 to Iri. You always play a little set there. That's a 3-game series. And they flip-flop the home team in the middle game, as the Tigers get to be the home team in that one. Seems like every year, right around that time, they all get to play one another. And there'll be a few days off, and then they get going for good the week after that. That would be on, I believe, the 27th. There's a ground ball hit to short. They go to second for 1. Back to first. It's going to be a double play. That is going to go in the books as a 6-4-3 variety, as that will do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 6th inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 6 complete innings. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. All the scoring in the first inning, and it's just been crickets after that. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us. We appreciate you for hanging in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this.
Heart says of the Amazon, hand steady.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Hugo asked the question, would you guys take the over 4.5s in this game here? It is a pretty boring game. Yeah, it's a pretty much like watching an elevator go up and down a building, not much happening. And I would probably, if it were me at this point, I would fade that. I don't know if I would take that at all. Not saying I would put it down on the other one, but I just think that in this game here, we've got a lot of development players starting to shuffle in. We got a new pitcher in the ball game, as it's going to be Masahiro Ihara, who is coming in, the third pitcher to be used by the Eagles. Had a lot of moving parts, and here you are playing on a neutral site field. I'm not sure I would do that. And the game here, it's almost like been you would ask me that in the first inning, I would have said, yeah, for sure. But we've just seen a whole bunch of goose eggs go up for the last 5 innings for both of these teams. And they look like they're not interested in hitting. In fact, it's a little bit chilly, even though the sun was out. And I wonder if the post-game beer is cold and what the spread looks like in the locker room, because maybe their mind's on that, because it's certainly not on hitting the baseball. So to be able to make that as your opportunity not to do it, I would probably say that would be the case. Just doesn't look like a whole lot of interest in scoring runs. Well, and speaking of that, it's supposed to be coming to bat here, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. It's supposed to be Nomura, Nishikawa, and Shimizu. As coming to bat here, Nomura 7 for 15 in exhibition play. He's 1 for 2 tonight. As the right-hander works himself to the set position. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and lifted into straightaway center field. Moving over and underneath it to make the catch is the center fielder Nakajima, and that's going to retire Nomura on 1 pitch. We have 1 away, and that underscores that point I would say about the 4.5. Well, this is going to bring to the plate Haruki Nishikawa. He is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has also had a sac fly and drove home the second run of the game for the Fighters. 3 for 17 in exhibition play. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung. This is belted into deep right field. If it stays fair, it could be trouble. And this ball is going to be gone. A home run, as that ball had just stayed to the left of the foul pole. And we're just talking about the lack of offense, of nothing happening. And now you got another run on the board, a solo shot to make the scoreline 3-1 out of nowhere. So if Hugo's listening in, I'm sure that line has changed. But boy, they really haven't really done a whole lot of nothing. Curious to see. Actually, they're going to take a look at this to see if it's a home run. He did his whole trot around. And the manager, Shinjo, has asked for a replay on this one. I don't know how they're going to replay this one. This one, to me, I have to take a look at it. They don't know what angles that they're going to get. Where did the ball land? It looked like it had landed in foul territory, but did it hook around the foul pole? First base umpire, I really don't know what he can see standing where he is on the dirt on the first base side. He had to make the call. He makes the call and says it was a long home run, but maybe I should have waited till coloring in my spot there with the run. We'll have to wait and see what the umpires have to say. I'm not even going to rule on this one. Too hard to tell. But in saying that, I wonder what the odds have changed. If they obviously they're waiting at the moment here to see if it's gone to that lead. Obviously, the hitter Nishikawa has gone back up. He's grabbed his bat. Maybe he's got a premonition that it isn't going to be there. If the Eagles lose this challenge, they'll have lost both their challenges tonight. We're still waiting for the umpires to come back. They maybe are getting that post-game beverage as well. I was saying earlier, I'm curious to see, here's another factor for you too, Hugo. I don't know if this park has lights. And so you start looking, around, right now we're 2 hours deep. In another hour, I would think this game should be done within the next hour. But I remember during a regular season game a couple of years ago between, I think it was the Hawks and the Fighters, they had to call the game because of darkness. No lights at the stadium they were playing at. And That's the way she goes. Well, here comes the umpire. We're going to find out. And it is a foul ball. So we jumped the gun a little bit, as did the umpire there, saying it was a home run. We're going to have to erase that all out. It's going to be no balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. And he kind of knew. He did the whole home run trot, and then when they went to challenge it, he was standing at the plate with his bat, so he must have knew. Could have saved the umpires a lot of trouble. So no balls and 1 strike. The score is still 2-1 here for the Fighters. So back to the action. And again, I don't know what that odds have changed to, but who knows? Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 0-2 on Nishikawa. You go from all of a sudden from a 3-1 lead back to a lead where it is not that. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Ooh, that just missed up and in. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses outside. Count goes now to 2-2 on Nishikawa. Eagles and the Fighters, 2-1 ball game here in the 7th. Not much action since inning number 1. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called third strike. Oh, I'm not sure what Nishikawa was looking at. That pitch was right at the knees, and he's going to be gone for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up the catcher in Yushi Shimizu. Well, for Shimizu, he is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded to third, and he has flown to center in his 2 trips to the plate. As the right-hander ready to deliver. We're just making sure it is Shimizu. There's a fastball that misses up and away. Count is 1-0, and it still is the catcher of the Fighters. So 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the right-hander holding to the set. And now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. 2 balls and no strikes to Shimizu. 2 gone here in the 7th. Fighters clinging to a 2-1 lead. This game will only go 9 innings. There's no extra innings in the exhibition games in the NPB as that fastball misses down. It's 3-0 to Shimizu. Waiting on deck is Daigo Kamikawabata. And the right-hander ready to go back to work. It's the sign from his catcher, and the 3-0 on the way. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball that misses way upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. And Shimizu is going to get himself a walk, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Daigo Kamikawabata. Well, for Kamikawabata, he is officially 1 for 2 tonight. Shimizu makes his way to first. On the exhibition season, Kamikawabata is now 1 for 4. Getting a chance to play here as the 0-2 or the 2-out pitch offering ready to come here from the pitcher Ihara. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Shu Yamagata waiting his turn on deck, and that'll be the top of the order for the Fighters. Ihara works himself to the belt. And now the 1-2 or the 1-0 on the way. Pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. If you just joined us, all the scoring in inning number 1. 2 runs by the Fighters in the top of the first and 1 by the Eagles in the bottom half. And it's been crickets the rest of the way. Here comes the 2-0. Pitch on the way. Fastball catches the outside corner, and the count now runs to 2-1. Yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge when you're watching this one here. As Hugo said, pretty boring game. Well, not a lot of action on the base paths for the most part. There was a stretch there where both pitchers were mowing the hitters down. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. But it wasn't like they were actually striking guys out. There was only a couple strikeouts. Balls were put in play, weak contact, easy ground balls, nothing really spectacular happening. A couple of decent plays here and there, but mostly routine. As the 2-2 pitch ready to come here to Kim Kawabata. On its way, fastball swung on and hammered foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2. I was lamenting the fact the way that the Samurai Japan team has been built, and specifically because of the what I would call the how do I say it? The lack of ways in which they could win. They're kind of built like a traditional Latin team or an American team. A lot of power. Fastball swung on, looped softly over to short. Weniyama is going to make the catch. That's going to retire Cam Kawabata. I'll come back and give you my thoughts on that in a minute. And he's gone for the third out of the inning. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom half of inning number 7. It is the Fighters 2, the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to give you our version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this timeout. Stay with us, guys. Glad to have you with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Chave is in the house tonight. He's sliding a little bit late. How's this one been so far? Well, it looked like we were going to have a cracker of a game in the first inning, as it was a 2-1 ball game after one, and that has been where we are at here as the bats have been silenced. It's the silence of the bats since then. Kenta Uhara is coming into the ball game, the lefty here. He's going to be the fourth pitcher used by the Fighters in this one. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We were asked a couple of innings or an inning or so ago by Hugo if we think the over 4.5 might be something to take. And I said, the way this game is going, I think the bats have been left in the freezer, so no sense in doing that. I was thinking I was going to try to do the game between the United States or Canada and Cuba today, but just couldn't get it done. Did that game late last night, went a little bit overtime. Daichi Suzuki stepping to the plate 4 for 14 on the exhibition play, and he takes a first pitch fastball up and in, and the count is 1-0. But Canada has survived. They have won their group. Now the reward for that is you get the Americans. As that fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-0 on Suzuki. Italy will play Puerto Rico in the other quarterfinal from that bracket. Then it'll be Japan versus Venezuela. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike as the Dominicans knocked off Venezuela tonight, and as their reward, they get to play the Koreans. So I still think the Dominican Republic is going to win it all. I don't know about the rest, although I have to say Puerto Rico could get a shot to go to the semifinals as they get to play Italy, as that breaking ball misses down and into Suzuki, and the count's 3-1. I mean, it's Italy sort of pseudo with the asterisk. How many Major League American players are playing for the Italians? As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, it's grounded over to second, fielded by Kawabata, throws on the run, and Suzuki's gone on a ground out 4-3 for the first out. That's going to bring Daisuke Nakajima. Our CV says, is Bauer back? I think Bauer's toast. I think he is absolutely finished. Probably the offensive names in the Eagles order, Luke Voigt is back in the NPB. He came and had a great second half of the season. He's going to be playing for the Eagles and bringing his power with him. So he'll have a good chance to end his career and get some paydays over in Japan with those type of numbers he put up last year. Breaking ball swung on, and Nakajima fouls that one away for strike one. To be followed by Hideto Asamura. There's a fastball swung on and it is grounded. Foul over on the third base side. The count now goes to 0-2. Our friend the Chave says, doesn't matter what sport, it always makes time for Canada-USA matchup. Yeah, that'll be an interesting affair. I haven't looked to see if they've announced the starting pitchers for that game yet. I know on the MLB channel that they have been looking at, there's a fastball swung on it, sliced down the left field line, racing hard over to make the catch as the left fielder Nishikawa, and that is going to retire Nakajima for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here to start the bottom of the seventh, and it's slated to bring up Hideto Asamura. But it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Asamura as they are going to the bench. Are the Eagles. It is going to be number 48. And that looks like it is Ryuya Taira. So he is going to be facing Ihara here. The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering from Ihara delivered as a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. And the lefty Ihara delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, racing over, and it is not going to have a chance. It is Yoshida Kawabata and the right fielder. It looks like Yazawa has moved over to right field. Ball drops into foul territory, but he gets a good laugh, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Taira. CB said, yeah, the former home run champion, Luke Voigt. Too bad he couldn't get a everyday job in the big leagues. He just was missing a little bit of something. Here's the 1-2 pitch, like a little bit more contact. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Taira. CV says the Japanese squad is more disciplined and want it more than the Americans. Well, that part is true. They definitely want it. They really take the pride in the national team there. But my problem with the Japanese team, I really don't like the way it's constructed. It's not a team that I have to say that I enjoy watching. As the 2-2 is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats. Outside of Sosuke Genda is really the only one who can maybe run a little bit. But that team is built for power. It's very similar to what you would see, and their defense is terrible. I mean, I don't know even what to say about the outfield defense. You've got Kondo in right and Yoshida in left. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, and it's going to get through the 4-hole into right field, and Taira's aboard with a 2-out single. And that is going to bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. This is not a team that I like. I think they missed out on a couple of players that would have given them some more flexibility in their offense, but it's just the way it goes. Well, our friend CV says the Americans are too lazy and they think they should just get it awarded. Well, case in point, Mark DeRosa the other night when they played the Italians and they lost, he said, I thought we were in. He didn't even know that they could have had a chance of going out tonight. If the Mexicans would have done their part and won the ball game, even if it was like 4-1 or 3-2, Americans would have been on the sidelines. Mexico would have been playing in the next round of the championship. As they throw to first base and diving back in time is Tyra. He had no idea. So that's a bad look for him, but it's also worse when your bench coach or some of the others don't know that that's the case. Mind you, the Italians did their part tonight, laying an 8-1 beatdown on the, I think it was 8-1 last time. That was the last time I looked in on the Mexicans. But how do you not know the situation that you're up against? Mind-boggling, baffling. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now, no balls and 1 strike to Munyama. Know your surroundings. As the runner over at first base establishes his lead. But as I say, the Japanese, the particular team that's been picked, I mean, they have some speed on the bench. Goes the runner, and he steals second, and the ball slips out of the hands of the catcher, Shimizu. And so Tyra has got himself a stolen base. He moves himself into scoring position. Interesting, the Eagles led the Pacific League last year in stolen bases. They had over 100 as a team. They were close to like 110 or whatever it was. And, you know, they're averaging almost, not quite 1 a game, but 0.8 a game. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2. You look at some of the players and the construct of some of the teams in Major League Baseball, and there's some teams who just can't run. I know, being a Detroit Tiger fan and watching the Tigers play when they had Victor Martinez at the end of his career, as well as Miguel Cabrera and some of the other players they had in the lineup, they had no speed. Nobody could run. It was painful to watch. There's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a fastball that just misses outside. The count now goes to 2-2. And so you look at the Samurai Japan. You got Shudo off the bench. Kazono can move a little bit. As I said, Genda used to run. He doesn't run as much anymore. And now you're looking at a team that, you know, is built for one thing, and that's power. And I don't know if you can bang with the Dominicans. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted down the third baseline foul, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And so the fundamentals that the Japanese bring, both on defense and with offense, it's not the Japanese team I would know from 10 years ago, or the style of team. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Munyama waits. As the lefty O'Hara now steps off the mound, and we're going to go through this again. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-2 is the score. 2 gone, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Munyama. Runner at second. So the 2s are all over the place here. As the lefty works himself to the belt, checks the runner at second, and now kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2. So O'Hara's got to get himself a new baseball. Already 20 pitches in the inning here for the lefty. It's not been the most economical inning. I would expect that the fighters will be emptying their bullpen here the rest of the way. 1 inning shots at each. There's the pitch. It's a fastball. Oh, that was center cut. Take it for a called third strike. Munyama was waiting there, and the home plate umpire comes up with the big right hand, and he is going to be gone for out number 3. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and a runner left aboard. We're now through 7 complete. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. Appreciate you for popping in tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is the Fighters coming to the plate when we return in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change as it is going to be Sora Suzuki coming on in relief. The left-hander is going to complete his tune-up tosses as he had appeared in 46 ball games for the Eagles last year, pitching to a 2.36 ERA, making his 4th appearance of the spring. And he has been pretty clean to this part. And he is supposed to be facing the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order. We'll be looking for changes as they become available. We were saying earlier on, and our friend Hugo asked us a couple innings ago, should we be thinking about taking that over? Well, as of right now, I think you should probably be pretty happy that you haven't, as that is what you are looking at here. And it is slated to come to bat the 3 Ys, Yamagata, Yazawa, and Yoshida. We'll see if that is what is going to face the Eagles pitcher here. Through the first 7 innings tonight, Fighters 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error. Eagles 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. And it is going to be the shortstop, Yamagata, coming to the plate. He is 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play, and he has flown out to center. 0 for 5 in exhibition play. As the left-hander kicks and delivers a first pitch fastball swung on, lifted into left field, and holding his ground right there is Irie to make the catch. And that is going to retire Yamagata for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 away. That'll bring up the top of the order in Koru Yazawa. And for Yazawa, well, he moved over to right field a couple innings ago. He started the ball game in center. We've seen the Fighters play. He could play all around the outfield. As he comes to the plate, it looks like Yazawa has got a neck roll on to keep him warm. As the pitch is on its way, it is a first pitch breaking ball missing down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Waggling the bat is the left-handed stick. As the lefty Suzuki holds to the set, now he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. It has popped up over on the first base side in foul territory. Giving chase is the catcher and the first baseman. Did he catch it? Did he hang on? Oh my goodness. What a catch by Daichi Suzuki as he was leaning into the dugout. Got some support from his teammates to help him from falling in as he used every ounce he could possibly do to get there. He went right to the fence post. And man, he was able to hang on. It did not hit the netting, and it was that close to hitting the face of the dugout wall. But that is going to retire Yazawa for the second out of the inning. What a catch. And that is going to bring Kengo Yoshida to the plate. And for Yoshida tonight, he is 0 for 3. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on, is grounded to short, gobbled up by Muniyama. He throws to first. Ground out 6-3, and that is going to do it as the Fighters go quietly in their half of inning number 8. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is still the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. Hope you guys will stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this musical timeout. We got a score line at 2-1. It's been that way since the first. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out. Leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I gotta go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Ryusuke Kawano coming on in relief. It's going to be his second appearance of the spring. He has not allowed a run at this point yet. So Kawano on in relief, and he is slated to face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order, which would be Haruchi, Kobakata, and Watanabe. So we'll see what happens here as he's completed his tune-up tosses. Game is starting to run out of outs here for the Eagles as they find themselves in a 2-1 deficit. There is only 6 outs the Fighters have to get here to finish this one out. They do have lights at the stadium. We were wondering earlier if there would be lights or not, but there are. So to see how this all plays out. So 0 for 1 tonight is Haruchi as the left-hander kicks and delivers. There's a first pitch fastball swung on it. Is lifted down the left field line, but it's going to slice its way into the seats. Count is quickly 0-1 to Haruchi. Haruchi batting from the left side here against the left-hander. As Kawano kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field, coming in. Still coming in and making the catch on the run. As the center fielder for the Fighters, we know that they had made a change. It looks like that it is Nomura who is out there now. So that would be Yuki Nomura making the catch. So 2 gone here. That's going to bring up 1 gone here. It's going to bring the top of the order and Hiroto Kobakata to the plate. Kobakata 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out. He's also grounded into a double play and struck out. Takes a breaking ball outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty holds to the belt, and now he rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ball game here tonight. It has been the first inning and not much after that. There's a fastball swung through and missed. It's now 2-1 to Kobakata. A whole lot of nothing, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, fielded neatly by Kawabata. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Kobakata on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to Yoshiaki Watanabe. And for Watanabe, well, he is 0 for 1 tonight since entering into the ball game. He flew out to left field his only trip to the plate. 0 for 2 in the exhibition season. Batting from the left side here against Kawano. It kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner for called strike. The count is 0-1. Got to tip your hat to Kawano. He's come in throwing strikes. Other than falling behind to Kobakata, he has been, everything else has been a strike festival. And there's a first pitch. There's a fastball that misses outside for ball. And the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And now Kawano's going to step off the backside of the rubber and go to the rosin bag. Here comes the 1-1 offering as the lefty double clutches and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Every time we see him pitch, he reminds me of Nestor Cortez. He's always got that double clutch, the double kick, everything going on in his delivery. As the lefty delivers again, fastball just misses off the outside corner. Count now runs to 2-2 on Watanabe. Wano back to the rosin bag again, and he's ready to go back to work. And the 2-2 on the way. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. When this game is over, we'll give you the roundup, and then we'll also give you the out-of-town scores. As there was only one other game going on in the NPB tonight. Obviously, the game between the Giants and the Hawks will go off in another 2.5 hours. Fastball swung on, another one hammered foul down the left field line. Count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. And the pitcher, Quino, gets a new baseball, ready to go back to work again. As he's ready to deliver the pitch to Watanabe. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. And the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Watanabe gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it here in the 8th inning. As the Eagles go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Your score as we move to the 9th inning, it is the Fighters with a 2-1 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. The manager, Mickey, looks like he's making a change. And we'll get that for you when we come back in just a couple of moments. Stay with us, everybody. It is a 2-1 ball game. We'll be right back after this. Everybody, it is going to be number 49, Masaya Nishigaki, who is coming on in relief here. It will be the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. He had 63 appearances last year for the Eagles. He worked to an ERA of 1.96. We'll be back in about 30 seconds with all the action for you when we return right after this timeout.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole. A little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Nishigaki has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one back underway. Slated to come to bat for the Fighters. As we do expect to maybe see a couple of pinch hitters here. It's supposed to be Arias, and then Sunia, and then Nomura. But Reyes' day is done as they are going to go to the bench. That's another reason why I felt that you may want to stay away from taking the over. That is going to be number 49 off the bench. This is Ruan Otsuka, as he is coming on in to hit. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So Otsuka on to pinch hit for Reyes. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Nishigaki, who kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at first base, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Even though it's not a big crowd, it is a festive crowd, as the Finder fans are giving their support. As the right-hander Nishigaki delivers, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Again, digging himself back in here is the left-handed hitting hitter of the fighters. And the pitch on the way is the fastball that's taken for a called strike. Count goes to 2-2. So Ruin Otsuka here, as we said, going to get the spot in the DH role. As the right-hander kicks and fires. Breaking ball, yes, he did go, says the home plate umpire. And that is going to retire the pinch hitter Otsuka for the first out of the inning. He's gone on strikes. And that is going to bring up the always popular number 123, Hiroki Suniya. I love the development and the training numbers when the players come out. We had one of our friends who listens to the channel, Gracie Lynn, was telling us about the soccer teams in Latin America will have players with triple-digit numbers. First pitch, breaking ball, drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Suniya batted in the sixth inning, and he went down on 3 straight pitches. He's 1 for 8 in exhibition play. Batting 125. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes even at 1-1. So they know the difference between an academy player, a development player, all that type of stuff by the numbers that they would wear. So the development players or training players in Japan, same thing. Fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. And some teams it's a little bit different. As an example, the development players for the fighters all wear numbers in the 100s, as are the development players for the Eagles. We saw some other players that'll wear a 200 level number. Not sure what that is the difference or where that would be the difference. Is that breaking ball swung on and it's tap foul right at home plate. Count remains at 1-2. I'd love to be able to get one of those numbers. You go over and you buy one of the jerseys and you get the number there. Curious to know if Fanatics is doing all the jerseys for all the teams. I know they've taken over the merchandise in some of the venues, some of the parks. I think Yokohama, the Giants, and the Lions for sure. And the prices have gone up and the quality has gone down. There's a split finger pitch that's missing in the dirt. The count is 2-2. I'm sure a lot of people who would deal with Fanatics in North America would probably chime in. I will say this, like some of the designs of what they produce and how they market their product, I got no beef with any of that. It's just I don't like the lack of quality that ends up being put forward. There's a fastball swung on. It is lined to short. It is dropped by Muniyama, and it's safe over at first. I don't know if they're going to call it an error or not. We're going to have to wait and see. And it is. It was absolutely scorched. Muniyama should have came up with the play. Instead, it's going to be charged with an error as Suniya is going to make it to first. I want to see what they're going to do here. They're looking. Are they going to see if he caught the ball and then dropped it? I don't know. We're going to take a look at it ourselves here again. Ball was absolutely hammered. I don't think so. No, that's definitely not going to be the case. Or are they going to take a look over at first base? I don't know if they're going to do that either because I thought the runner had made it there safely. And for a trifecta, I thought the Eagles are out of challenges, but it looks like that they're not going to challenge anything here. So this is going to bring to the plate number 58. We have a pinch hitter here. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and away. Number 58 is Taiki Narama, as he's come in for Yuki Nomura. As the right-hander Nishiguchi throws over to first base, and diving back in time is Suniya. So 1 ball and no strikes to the fighters hitter. Right-hander against the right-hander. Shigaki works himself to the set position. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Eagles Fighters locked at a 2-1 deadlock here. All the scoring came in inning number 1 for both clubs. As the 1-1 pitch ready to come here to Narama. It's a breaking ball swung on in the dirt. The count goes to 1-2. Slated to hit next is Nishikawa. We'll see if he is going to stay in the ball game or if they're going to continue to empty their bench. And he'll be followed by Shimizu. So that's what still is to come to hit here for the Fighters here in inning number 9, should they be able to come to the plate. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Narama waits, but instead they throw over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Sunia as we wait here. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shigaki again holding to the set. Look for the runner to possibly be on the move. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. They go to second for 1, back to first. And it's an inning-ending double play. That is going to go as a 4-6-3 variety. Nice turn there by Kobakata at second as they were able to get Sunia on the front end and on the back end. Retires Narama for out number 3, and that is going to do it here. No runs in the inning, no hits. There was an error, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 9th inning, everybody. Your score is the Eagles trailing the Fighters 2-1. Stick around. I'm sure we got another pitching change for the Fighters, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments after this timeout. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Bottom of the 9th is just around the corner. We'll be right back after this. It is a 2-1 ball game, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action for the bottom of the 9th in just a couple of moments. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Takumi Yamamoto coming on in relief to try to close this one out here for the Fighters. The diminutive right-hander is making his second appearance of the spring, as he has pitched himself to a 4.50 ERA in a couple innings of work. So he is ready to resume the action here. Not a big fella, but he is a solid fella nonetheless. There are some defensive changes. Solid in the lower half. That's one thing you notice. The former Chinichi Dragon, he was acquired in a trade a couple of years ago as the Fighters brought him in. Slated to come to bat here is Kurakawa, Iri, and Suzuki. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander looks in and gets the sign from his catcher as he holds the ball at the waist. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field, and it's going to bleed down over the head of the third baseman, and it slices toward the fence. And that's going to be a leadoff single here for Kurakawa to start the 9th inning, and that'll bring up Daiki Iri to the plate. So the Eagles are not showing any way to die here, as they are going to hold it in. That ball was just out of the reach of the third baseman. He ran out onto the grass, or the pseudo grass, because, as I said, it looks like the grass hasn't really grown yet. It's all kind of brown. So that is going to be the end of the night. Looks like here for Kurikawa, we're going to have a pinch runner for him. Entering into the fray, this is number 60. And by our counts here, we're looking to see 60 is Rikai Jamil Waters. And diving back to the bag, so we haven't seen Waters play yet. As Erie is at the plate. Erie struggling in the exhibition play, 1 for 11. As time was called, as the catcher Shimizu went out and flashed some defensive signals to his group, they are concerned about the runner at first. As Yamamoto holds runner and comes to the set position, they're squaring to bunt is Ire, so they're going to try to move him over into scoring position. It's bunted, it's down, it's a good one. Up the first base line, Yamamoto fields it, throws it to first. That is going to retire Ire, so that moves him into scoring position. It'll be a sacrifice bunt. The putout is going to go 1-4, or check that 1-3 in this situation. So Ire gone for the first out of the inning, and it's going to bring up Daichi Suzuki to the plate. Well, Suzuki has a hit tonight. For the Eagles, they only have 5 hits. He's got 1 of them. He's also driven in the only Eagle run. So 1 for 3 here for the veteran first baseman. 4 for 15 in the exhibition play. So he steps in here, ready to go. Are shading him to the right side of the infield. The shortstop is right over top of the runner at second. And there is a breaking ball that comes in, and it has hit Suzuki. That's going to put runners at first and second. So Yamamoto having a bit of a meltdown here. And it is slated to bring up Daisuke Nakajima, which is who is going to come to the plate. So Eagles threatening here with runners at first and second, 1 gone. Our friend Hugo was in here earlier, was wondering, should I take that over 4.5? Well, it was looking pretty good up until about, I'd say probably 2 batters ago of not doing it. And now all of a sudden they got themselves in a little bit of a challenge here, do the Eagles. Or sorry, I should say so, do the Fighters, as the Eagles have runners aboard here. The right-hander leans in, gets the sign, and now he works himself to the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down. It's 1-0. First inning, a lot of action. Next 7 innings, a lot of nothing. And here we are in the 9th inning, and the action has come back again. So this game has almost been bookended. A lot of slop in the middle, and now a lot of bit of action here later in the ball game today. As the right-hander works himself to the set position. Yamamoto checks the runner, now delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted up into shallow center field. Moving back on it is the shortstop. Coming in on it is the center fielder, but it's going to be the shortstop, Yamagata, who's going to make the catch and put that one away. That's going to be the second out of the inning, and that'll leave it up. It looks like we may have ourselves another pinch hitter again. We'll take a look at this. Looks like it's Suki Muribayashi. So he's coming off the bench to bat for Taira, who had come in for Asamura. So we'll see what he has up his sleeve here. So Muribayashi off the bench. Trying to deliver at the bare minimum tying run, if not a go-ahead run. So the Eagles are down to their final out. It's 2-1 here for the Fighters. As Yamamoto checks the runner, he works to the belt. And now he throws to second base, and they almost threw it into center field. Oh, boy. Everybody was ready here. Everybody was moving. So Yamamoto ready to go here again. No balls, no strikes to the hitter, Muribayashi. Eagles players are all up the edge of their seats. Or on the top of the rail. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. Moving over is the right fielder, Yozawa, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. He hit the ball right on the screws, did Muribayashi, but right to the glove of the right fielder, and that is how this one is going to end. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Your final score is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 2 and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments, and we'll wrap this all up for you and put this one to rest before we call it a night. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this from our good friend, Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Your final score was the Fighters 2 and the Eagles 1. We'll wrap this one up for you, give you the scoreboard from around the NPB, and call it a night. If you came in the first inning and saw the runs, that's all you needed to see. If you got there late and you missed it, you missed a whole lot of everything. The ball game got going as Cody Yozawa led off the game with a leadoff single after Kengo Yoshida struck out. There was walk to Franmil Reyes and up stepped Yuya Gunji, and he delivered the first run of the game as he banged home Yozawa with a single, giving the Fighters an early 1-0 lead. After Yuki Nomura singled, that loaded the bases, up stepped Haruki Nishikawa, and he had a sacrifice fly to center field that brought home Reyes. That made the scoreline 2-0. Well, in the bottom of the first inning, the Eagles answered back with 1 out. It was a Oscar Gonzalez double. After a walk to Fumiya Kurikawa, up stepped Carson McCusker. He bounced into a fielder's choice to put runners at first and third. Then Daichi Suzuki came to the plate. He singled home Gonzalez with the first run of the game for the Eagles and their only run. And it was McCusker who got hosed at third base to end the inning. And so at the end of the first, it was 2-1, and that is where the final was. 2-1 here this evening in favor of the Fighters. Well, look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The only other game that is currently going on in the NPB, it is in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Hiroshima Carp have a 4-0 lead over the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars. And as the Bay Stars are hitting, the other game that is going to go off at 1800 hours Japan time, which is 6 p.m. in the evening. For those of you not on the military time, that'll be between the Giants and the Hawks at the PayPay Dome. That will go in about 2 hours and 6 minutes time, as we looked in on that one last night. But we're not going to stick around tonight, as we are calling it an evening here. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you hanging in on tomorrow for the Lions and the Marines. Maybe you'll come on back and see us then. If not, hope you can enjoy the game on delay as we are signing off for the night on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.